I took 600 mg of DXM, and my apartment tried to replace me. I took the DXM just after 9 p.m. I'd done it before, but never this much. 600 mg of pure Robo gel caps, washed down with grapefruit juice and silence. I live on the 14th floor of an old high-rise that creaks when the wind moves wrong. It was storming hard outside, rain smacking the windows sideways, thunder rolling so low it felt like the building had a stomachache. I didn't plan the weather, but I didn't mind it. It felt fitting. I turned off all the lights, lit one candle on the coffee table, pulled the blinds, and put on headphones. Dark ambient loops, no lyrics, just tones. The come-up was slow, syrupy, and strange. My fingers felt too long. My breathing echoed inside my head like I had a hollow skull. The music began to separate into layers, like I could step between sounds. My body was a suggestion, not a fact. And then came the flattening. It's hard to explain unless you've been there. The world loses depth. You stop being in a room and instead become a surface stretched across it. I walked into the bathroom and stared at myself in the mirror. My face wasn't familiar. My smile looked like someone else's. I blinked and didn't see the movement, just the afterimage. My reflection lagged half a second behind. I turned off the music. It was too much. The thunder was better, realer. I sat on the couch and tried to drink water, but I couldn't tell if I was swallowing or just holding it in my mouth. I looked out the window, and the city looked paused. Like someone had taken a photo of the world and projected it onto glass. Then the building shifted. It wasn't an earthquake. It wasn't movement. It was breathing. The floor rose slightly under my feet, like a diaphragm expanding. The walls pushed outward, just a little, just once, like a sigh. I froze. The hairs on my arms stood up. I told myself it was the wind, the storm, imagination, but it happened again. A low creak from the ceiling. A pulse. Like the building had a heartbeat. I stood up, carefully, and walked to the kitchen. I needed grounding. I opened the fridge. Every item inside was rearranged. Things I didn't buy. A small jar of nails, a bowl of what looked like sand, a half-eaten sandwich that said thank you when I touched it. I closed the fridge. I didn't want water anymore. I didn't want anything. I just wanted to remember what day it was. I pulled out my phone. No signal, no clock. Just a gray screen that said, "We'll be with you shortly." I blinked. The candle had gone out. I hadn't touched it. The storm outside was still raging, but I could no longer hear the rain. Only the thunder. Deep, mechanical. Like it wasn't coming from the sky, like it was coming from inside the building. I walked to the bedroom, but the door was gone. Just wall now. I turned back, and the window was different. It was larger. I walked toward it, and the room stretched with me. I don't know how long I walked. I don't know how big my apartment became. I found a chair that shouldn't be there and sat. Across from me was another me, not mirrored, another version of me. He was wet, like he'd been out in the storm. He looked tired. He said nothing, just stared. I asked him what was happening. He opened his mouth, but no sound came out, just a trickle of water. I looked down. My feet were submerged. The apartment was flooding. Slowly. Warm, dark water rising at an impossible rate but without splashing. I stood up. The other me stood too, in sync. Not copying, mirroring in logic, not position. We moved in a loop. I ran to the door that was no longer there, and behind me he whispered, "You're not where you think you are." I spun around. He was gone. In his place was the chair, empty, dry. The water was gone too. I was on the floor, clutching a pillow I didn't remember having. My body was shaking. My teeth chattered even though the room was warm. I looked at my arms, covered in text, tattooed messages scrolling under the skin. They said things like, "Don't answer," and "This isn't the first time." One of them pulsed like a heartbeat. I closed my eyes and whispered, "Stop," again and again, but it just kept going. The building groaned, loud now, like metal bending under pressure. Then I heard laughter. Not mocking, just amused, like a child watching someone try to open a locked door with a spoon. I looked up and the ceiling was now a mirror. I saw myself from above, head cracked open, my thoughts leaking upward like steam. I tried to scream, but my throat felt full of cotton. My voice came out like glass grinding against metal. Then silence. Sudden, complete. No thunder, no wind, just stillness. I was in a different room, smaller, brighter. A single window showing nothing but static light. A bed. A clipboard. I was wearing hospital clothes. There were handprints on the walls. Mine. Hundreds of them. Some bloody, some chalk, some just oil smudges. I didn't know where I was anymore. I remembered taking DXM, but I didn't remember being here. I didn't remember getting up. I looked at the clipboard. It had one word on it. Remainder. I closed my eyes and waited. No panic. No peace, just surrender. When I opened them, I was back in my apartment. The storm had stopped. The lights were on. The candle had melted into a puddle. My phone buzzed. 4:12 a.m. 5 missed calls from my sister. I was sitting on the floor in a towel. I don't remember getting the towel. The fridge door was open. The sandwich was gone. The nails were in my pocket. I haven't taken DXM since. I still live on the 14th floor, and the building creaks when the wind moves wrong. But now, when it groans, I listen. And sometimes, deep in the night, I feel the floor rise ever so slightly, like something underneath me is breathing.